My heart plummeted as I saw the paddock gates swinging wide. Hoof prints smeared in the mud like a crime scene. Thunder growling over the hills as if the storm itself was mocking me. My 3 rescue horses gone. The paddock was a desolate void. The wind howling with a cruel edge. For a fleeting moment, I hoped they'd broken free, but tire tracks slicing through the muck told a darker truth. Someone had stolen them. Not just anyone. Karen Thompson, the HOA's self-appointed dictator, a woman who once reported a neighbor's cat for trespassing on her lawn. That same Karen who'd lingered by my barn that morning, her eyes glinting with a zealot's fervor, had struck during the storm's peak, thinking I'd be too distracted to notice. She was wrong. These weren't just horses. They were federally registered rescues under USDA protection, microchipped, documented, and more tightly regulated than most government secrets. Karen hadn't just crossed a line, she'd committed a felony. Dawn had started like any other with Shadow's soft nicker at 5 a.m. The scent of hay and damp earth and the steady rhythm of hooves in the stalls. I ran a small sanctuary for abused and retired horses too traumatized for adoption. Shadow, a former carriage horse, had been worked near death. Fella, pulled from an illegal betting ring, still shied at loud voices. Max, blind in one eye, flinched at sudden movements. They were survivors, and my job was their safety. Yet, Karen, with her social media rants and zero expertise, had stolen them in broad daylight. She'd shown up at noon, claiming to check on the animals, her usual meddling routine. Last week, she'd fretted over their emotional health. Before that, she'd complained Shadow's chewing triggered her headaches. Today, under a garish yellow umbrella, her purse dog yapping, she'd mused they'd be happier free, not caged like circus props. I brushed her off, but made the mistake of turning away to Max's stall. That's when I noticed her staring at a trailer parked just beyond the ridge. I thought it was a neighbor's visitor, not a plot. Now, rain pelting my face, the empty stalls glaring like accusations, I realized I'd underestimated Karen's madness. I stumbled through the mud to the house, grabbing my tablet to check the cameras. There she was, 3:46 p.m., in a fake animal safety advocate vest, coaxing Shadow into a rusted trailer. Fella hesitating, Max tugged by a rope. She waved at the camera, grinning like a bank robber posing for a selfie, then drove off. I called 911 expecting skepticism, but the dispatcher's tone sharpened. Federally registered, I confirmed, and she put me on hold. Minutes later, Inspector Johnson from the USDA called, his voice like gravel. If she crosses state lines, it's a federal violation under the Echo-In Rescue Act. Prison time. I sent him the footage, the trailer's plate, and its westward direction. A neighbor texted a blurry dash cam shot of Karen's rig. The storm was worsening, but I wasn't waiting. I grabbed my boots, loaded my trailer with gear, and packed the horse's USDA records, microchip data, and a notarized protection letter. This wasn't about pets. It was about trust. I called Deputy Mike, a sheriff's deputy friend, who issued a county-wide bolo. Within minutes, every cruiser knew about Karen's horse heist. Passing 2 deputies who waved grimly, I tracked the GPS ping from the dash cam. My wipers battling sheets of rain. These horses had endured starvation, beatings, and fear. Finally finding peace. Now Karen, a suburban crusader with a savior complex, had ripped that away. Lightning cracked as I gripped the wheel, vowing to find her. The rain was a deluge when I hit the old county road, the GPS pointing to a derelict lot near town's edge. I knew the place, Karen's aunt's abandoned goat farm, now her hideout. A sagging mailbox read Thompson. And there, in a flooded yard, was the trailer, my horses inside. I parked across the street, rage simmering, but I needed proof, not a brawl. I called Inspector Johnson, who ordered me to wait for his agent and deputies. I texted Lisa, a neighbor who'd helped with past inspections, to record discreetly. She arrived in 10 minutes, phone ready. The gate creaked and Karen emerged in a poncho over her fake vest, hair plastered to her face. She opened the trailer, yanking Bella out, her hooves slipping. Shadow followed, eyes dull. Max, his bandage sodden, limped in pain. Karen tied them to a rusted swing set, patting Max and yelling, "You're free now." It was grotesque. Lisa filmed as Karen live-streamed, preaching to her followers. These horses were imprisoned, overfed, emotionally crushed. "I've given them sanctuary." Bella nibbled a moldy burger wrapper. Lisa gasped. 2 sheriff cruisers rolled up silently, followed by Inspector Johnson's unmarked SUV. "Karen Thompson, step away." A deputy barked. She spun, indignant. "This is my sanctuary. You have no power here." Inspector Johnson, unfazed, flashed USDA records. "These are federally protected horses. You've committed theft and endangerment." Karen ranted about spiritual guardianship as deputies flanked her. Neighbors gathered, phones out. "I'm persecuted," she shrieked, lunging at a deputy untying Shadow. She was cuffed in seconds, tripping in the mud as her live stream captured it all, screaming about horse sovereignty. The deputy slammed the cruiser door. "Inspector Johnson, let me check the horses." Max's stitches were torn. Bella's hooves cracked. Shadow's leg gashed. "I photographed everything, calling a vet." Lisa kept recording. Karen's final shout, "Your meat industry puppets," faded as the cruiser left. I stayed with the horses, their fear palpable, but they were alive. Karen faced federal charges, and I'd make sure they stuck. The next morning, my phone was a battlefield. 200 messages, 30 missed calls from rescue groups, reporters, even a talk show. I ignored them, focusing on the horses. The vet worked through the night treating wounds and stress. Shadow was withdrawn, Max jumpy, Bella rigid. It gutted me, but I buried the pain. The story had gone viral. Karen's mud-soaked fall a meme gold mine. Hoof liberator on a hobby horse. Her mugshot captioned, "Hey, felon." Reddit's r/entitled people exploded. Rescue groups sharing tales of rogue activists like Karen. Her case a warning. At a USDA press conference, Inspector Johnson laid out the charges: felony theft, endangerment, impersonation, obstruction. He showed Max's injuries, Karen's swing set setup, her live stream boasting of freeing horse prisoners. Reporters chuckled, one writing, "Karen set rescue work back a decade." Her hearts for hooves page drowned in outrage, her followers gone, screenshots exposing her turtle rescues and dog shaming. She hired Carl Davis, a shady lawyer who claimed Karen was a whistleblower under a non-existent animal guardian doctrine, suing me for neglect and Inspector Johnson for intimidation. It was nonsense, but headlines ate it up. Horse thief sues victim. Feds. Her own live streams berating Max for ingratitude buried her defense. The USDA planned to use Karen's case in a legislative hearing on rogue rescuers. Her name now a legal cautionary tale. My barn became a landmark. Kids sending shadow letters. Schools requesting tours. I declined a documentary focusing on healing. Max leaned into me one night, trusting again. The storm was over. Fences fortified, locks upgraded. Karen faced a courtroom of experts and evidence. Her hero mask shattered. Court day was electric. Spectators circling the courthouse. Karen arrived in a van plastered with Hoof Truth stickers, wearing a horse-embroidered shawl, Carl Davis trailing like a beaten dog. She posed for cameras, yelling about equine citizens. The judge, a no-nonsense veteran, warned against theatrics. Karen called the theft a rescue mission. The judge's glare silenced her. The prosecution played the footage, Karen in her fake vest dragging Max, waving smugly. Photos showed the horse's injuries. The vet detailed Max's near infection, Bella's starvation, fear, Shadow's withdrawal. The judge balked at the swing set. Karen's testimony was a circus, claiming horses needed emotional resonance, not vets, calling me a trauma hoarder and Inspector Johnson a hoof fascist. She tried playing a therapeutic whisper to Max. The judge threatened contempt. I testified plainly. The horse's federal status, their care plans, Karen's harm. Inspector Johnson presented her fake vest, posts, and past tortoise fiasco. The defense's good intentions plea flopped. The judge, unmoved, convicted Karen of all charges: theft, endangerment, impersonation, obstruction. She got 18 months supervised service at Green Valley Ranch, a lifetime animal ban, heavy fines, and mandatory psych evaluation. Karen's shell-slung outburst about cosmic hoof rights was gavelled down. Reporters swarmed as I left, passing Karen's blotchy glare. I said nothing, feeling only sunlight's warmth. At home, Shadow, Bella, and Max healed, the barn fortified with donations. Karen, mucking stalls at Green Valley Ranch, tried preaching crystal feed. Staff shut her down. Her Hoof Queen memoir pitch was blocked. Her HOA issued new animal rules, shamed by her chaos. Inspector Johnson later revealed Karen's prior wildlife meddling, earning her a federal property ban. I spoke at a rescue conference, not for fame, but to warn of Karen's. Spring brought peace. Max nuzzled me, Bella grazed, Shadow trotted. The barn glowed. Safe. Karen's legacy wasn't salvation, but a lesson carved in justice. Those who steal under the guise of saving only deepen the wounds. My horses were home, and Karen's reign of delusion was over for good.